Three, two, one. All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Persuasion by the Pint. I'm Jonathan Taylor, along with
Sean McCool. All right, there we go.
There we go. That's it. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, we went a little.
We, based on our last episode, we went like an hour. I think that was one of our longest episodes. So we're going to do like a short, maybe a 10, 15-minute segment on this episode.
Yeah, we'll see. We've never been that short, but we'll try. I do have an update, though, from the last episode.
Okay.
So the last episode, I had the Kilt Switch beer, and I wasn't sure on the ABV. So I went and looked it up, and it's a 12.9.
Ooh.
Which is like Russian Imperial Stout level.
Yeah.
ABV, but it drank like an ale. Like it's not like it wasn't like super sweet or heavy like you would expect around that. Because you're like getting it. I mean, you get it 12-13%. Like you're getting into like liqueur territory and like Imperial Stouts and stuff. So that was crazy. When I looked it up, I was like, man, maybe that's why they didn't put it on the can. That's crazy. Gotta be careful with that.
Having another?
No, I went about half that strength for this next one. So,
all right.
But I went first last time.
Okay.
So I'll let you go first, and then we'll compare notes. But one thing we're going to talk about though, while you're getting your beer ready, I saw this video. And it was like a hype video for one of the presidential candidates, and at the end of it, there was a hashtag, and I thought it was a really good 3-word rebellion. So we're going to talk about that.
Okay.
What that was. And then I got in the mail, I got a letter this week, and I've gotten it like 3 or 4 times, which usually in direct mail world, that means it's working. So I want to share that with the listeners about what's working in that space and maybe how you could apply it to your business.
Okay.
So with that said, there's the tea. That's the official tease.
That's the official tease.
So now we can move on to the official beer tasting ceremony.
Which is brought to you by our friends. Let me pull it up here. Let's give our friends a plug over at Craft Beer Club. You can find them over at persuasionbythepint.com/craft beer. And just to give you a little background, Craft Beer Club, they select from some of the finest breweries across the U.S. For a monthly membership. You can go bi-monthly, every month. Great program. And I know, Sean, you talked about last episode. You just jumped on, so you're waiting to get yours.
I've sent that first shipment.
Yep, I've purchased some of these as gifts, and so it's good stuff. So you can check them out over at Craft Beer Club or craftbeerclub.com. But you will really want to use our link over at persuasionbythepint.com/craft beer.
Yep. Absolutely. Very cool.
All right. So with that said, I'm going to introduce my craft beer this week, and it is a Victory Golden Monkey. I think I've had this one on before, but I didn't want to make a special trip out today. So I just went down to my local place.
Yeah.
And I think I've selected everything on the shelf there at one time or another. So, I do remember like last time I reviewed this one, this probably been a few weeks or a few months back, but it was really good. So that one stood out. So, I don't know how much information I need to give on this outside of the fact that it is a Belgian style triple, and it is it's a Pilsner with it's surprising 9.5% ABV. A little high on a Pilsner.
The triples are pretty strong. I'm curious what you think. So you've had that one before? You remember that one?
I've had a Victory Golden. I'm pretty sure it was a Golden Monkey. I don't know if it was this one. I would have to go back on the episode and look and see. But
I know that the triples can tend to be pretty hoppy. So I'm curious. Like they can like really hit you. So I'll be curious to see how that shows up for you.
I don't see any IBUs on here. So
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. But okay. So what do you got? Oh, you're a bottle there.
I like that. So moving up there. No, so I've got an Innocent Gun. Ooh, remember those? Right?
Yes.
Right. Good one. Scotch whiskey barrel ale. Told you I was on a Scotch whiskey kick.
Yep.
This one is only 6.6% ABV.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a golden ale, obviously in Scotch and whiskey barrels. So it says Scotch whiskey barrel ale, so it's barrel aged, but I'm not sure it's like a true Scotch whiskey. So I'm curious to see exactly what this tastes like. But yeah, I actually really like the bottle and the colors and everything else too. Kind of the red and the.
So that is a Scotch whiskey. So
Beer.
Okay, so I was thinking, you know what? I've had that one before, but it was actually the Irish because it's a green label. The Irish whiskey is the green.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So I don't know how much difference it is between that one, but should be good.
All right.
Definitely got the ale look.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah, it's nice. Can't go wrong with Innocent Gun.
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll find out.
All right.
Says it unlocks flavors like vanilla and toffee, which combine with the rich malty character of our golden ale to create incredible taste experience. All right, we're about to find out.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
I clanked before you even hit, so. I gotta switch my cam just so our audience. I got to do this.
Oh yeah, this is cool. So for those of you on the YouTubes or live streams, Jonathan's getting fancy in his little studio. He's got multi cameras.
The camera died. Oh man, wouldn't you know it? The power went out.
Power went out on it. So now you're just. Is that a political statement with the all black screen?
Pretty much. All right. Well, I'm not going to walk over there and do it, so I'll have to show you next episode. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool setup. I got a second camera right here.
Yeah, very official, like Joe Rogan-esque with your multi cameras or whatever. By the way, did you know Joe Rogan is moving to Lakeway, Texas? Right here down the street. I heard that.
He, along with a lot of other people, are getting the hell out of California.
Yeah, bringing their politics with them. So, all right. Well, it's not a political
Good luck with
show. But all right. So, what's your rating on yours?
Let's see. I was so busy with the camera, I didn't even try it. Let me see. Oh man, that's pretty good. I'll go 3.5. It's good. I like it.
So this one has a totally different finish than the last one. It doesn't have that like kind of fermented punch that the last one did, which makes sense. It's half the alcohol. This actually has a really nice, clean, dry finish. You know, so you get like a taste at the beginning, but then it just kind of finishes clean.
Sure.
But I like it. Like I think you could sip that on the front porch even on a hot day. So I'm going to give that also a 4. So I'm on a roll with these Scotch ales right now. I like them.
Absolutely.
So,
by the way, this one you thought it might be a little hoppy.
Yeah, not
hoppy.
Cool.
So it's a good Pilsner.
Yeah. So maybe I had a triple something else, you know? So, all right. Well, let's talk about this video I saw, and it was a Trump video. So there goes half the audience right there. Tuned out. Can't listen to this. But it was basically just a hype film, right? And it definitely took a kind of some of the current conspiracies, or whether or not you believe they're conspiracies, like the current conversation on the conservative side, kind of around this idea of Trump, you know, taking down the current establishment, draining the swamp, like all these ideas, the Q, you know, network, like all it kind of, so it definitely was written and kind of edited for that crowd. So, but then at the very end, the hashtag for it was Trump the establishment, which we've talked about, you know, 3-word rebellions and things like that. And, you know, obviously that's not ever going to sway anybody on the left, but to the target market that ad or that video was going out to.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was an ad because it didn't say like paid for by Trump. So I think it's just somebody put it together. But I thought that was like a great 3-word rebellion for the base, like Trump the establishment.
Right.
And because there's this whole narrative on the right going on right now about how all of this stuff that's going on, like it's a really grand conspiracy theory.
Deep
like
state, all that stuff. Yeah.
And it's like connecting everything that's going on right now. It's COVID, it's Black Lives Matter.
Sure.
It's I mean, every conversation that's going on right now all falls under this one master plan that Trump and Q and whoever else is working on. So whether you believe that or not, I don't know where I fall on it. Like, I would love for it to be true. I just, I have a hard time believing that something that grand can be pulled off these days.
Sure.
That's just my personal opinion.
But the message is pretty brilliant.
Message is brilliant.
Yeah.
And it appeals directly to the base. And, we've said, dozens of times on here, like, you got to, if you want to keep a following, you encourage their worldview, you let them know and you entertain them. And it was a very entertaining, hype. It's almost like a hype video that you see for a football team or something like that.
Yeah.
Which we could talk football. That's a whole nother story, man. 10 game season.
I know.
All in, in conference. Terrible.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Terrible. Like that. Like, it's crazy.
Just not going to be the same.
It's not going to be the same. It'll be bad ratings this year. It's basically going to be like 10 spring training games or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because even if you won, like, this will be the year Georgia wins, right? Because they'll win the SEC and they'll be on it.
They'll say, there'll be like a huge asterisk.
It'll be the biggest asterisk ever in the history of sports. So it's crazy. So that was the one thing, the Trump the establishment. I thought that was a great phrase. And here's
what I like about it is that I think that to me, it's brilliant in the fact that a lot of people on both sides can get on board with that because, there's people out there that hate Trump, but there's also people that aren't they're on the left, but they also are anti-establishment, And so
it's a good point. It's a good point.
I see a message like that and I say, how can you argue with that? Most people, if you did a survey or they put out a poll, most people would say, yeah, I'm not in favor of the establishment. I think it's, corrupt. And I think that, these people have been in power for too long and blah, blah, blah. So anytime if you can create a message around that, obviously it's going to ignite your base, your core audience. But I think you're going to pull in a lot of people that are like, yeah, I can agree with that. Who wouldn't agree with that? People that just can't stand Trump and hate him, obviously they're going to find any way to say, well, that's, discount the message. But then there's people out there that will say, yeah, I agree with that message because the whole establishment's Trump, the establishment is corrupt. And so I want to get rid of it. So I think I think that's a pretty powerful move on his part to be able to use a messaging like that because it's like a framing effect. We talk about framing. So it also, it makes it frames a message in such a way that it's hard to argue with it. Like even if you hate him, you're like, I don't know I'm not sure I want to like argue with that and say, no, I want the establishment.
Right.
So it's like, you're kind of painted you're kind of like cornered there where you can't really respond to it. So I think it's pretty smart on his part from a marketing standpoint.
Yeah. And you can even make an argument that, that's something that like it feels over the top, and because it's actually got Trump's name in it, you could actually fire up, the other base with it. It's like, oh, he thinks he can Trump whatever he wants. Right. He thinks he just, because his name's Trump, he can Trump law and order. He can Trump whatever. Right. So I think that they could use that to fire up the other side as well.
Sure.
So, but either way, it gets people talking about that hashtag. Like that hashtag gets trending. Yeah. Speaking of hashtags trending, I saw somebody comment, because we're so polarized with these different movements, and there's 3 or 4 or 5 big movements going on right now.
Sure.
Between, COVID related stuff, Black Lives Matters related stuff, police, and then just the election and right versus left, all this stuff. And videos are getting taken down, fact checking, all kinds of stuff. And I saw one person post in a group, and they were like, maybe we should start, instead of using our own hashtags, we should use the other side's hashtags so that stuff doesn't get taken down. I don't know if that would work, but I thought it was a cool, like, kind of art of war type thing. Just like, instead of using your own hashtags, like, use the hashtags of the other side.
Sure.
So that it shows up in their feed, because that's the stuff that they're clicking on, and at least they got to. Yeah. And then you get real engagement, because as Ed said on the last year, like, if you can spark that engagement,
absolutely,
then you get good stuff. So,
contrasting too, it's a powerful lesson in compare and contrast, because I think with a phrase like that, you're contrasting exactly where you stand.
Yeah. My big concern with the video is it was very like, they're the problem, as opposed to I'm the solution type thing. Right.
Sure.
Or, and I know it's fighting a common enemy, which we know works, but like Make America Great Again was much more hope and optimistic. And we've talked about this with presidential slogans, that those tend to work better for presidential slogans. So, and I don't think this is by any means the official, slogan of this election. But the way the video was made, it was like, oh, this is kind of pointing fingers and that kind of stuff. It's good for riling up the base, but I don't think it's what actually gets people to the polls to elect. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. So just interesting to watch is, because thing is, anybody can make a hashtag. So like, whether it catches is the question. So it'll be interesting to watch that particular hashtag, because this video just came out. Actually, that's an old video now that I look at it. It says it's from 2016.
Oh, okay.
But they edited it.
So they're just repurposing it for
repurposing content. Smart. It's funny because like and when I was watching, I was kind of thinking, like, because he talked about Hillary and that kind of stuff a few times. So it kind of sounded like that. But it's funny because it like really rings true for the current message as well. So because I saw it on Instagram, somebody had posted it, so it didn't have a date. But now I went back to the source, and it looks like it's it looks like October of 2016, so just before the election. So interesting. So leave it up to us to bring you the latest in, stuff.
I have seen an ad that they're running currently, and it's based. So what they've done is, and I think it's actually pretty good, where you may have seen it, where they somebody's calling the police, and they say, it's obviously it's an operator that answers the line. So it's a automated system, and you have to dial 1, 2 or 3, but police aren't available, right? Because so to me, it's another example of compare and contrast, where he's using really straight lines and letting you know that his opponent wants to quote, whether he does or not, that's not the issue. All we're saying is, from a marketing, from a persuasion standpoint, he's using persuasion to let you know that his opponent stands as a contrast to exactly what he stands for, which is for the police. Right. And his opponent wants to defund the police. So whether that's true or not, the message has been put out there, and it's running on the air, on, cable TV stations all the time right now.
Yeah. So. That's like a good, we've talked about demonstration being good advertising, right? So that's a kind of a demonstration. Like, this is what could happen if you allow this to go forward.
Yeah. This paints a vivid picture of you calling the police and
getting a phone tree or whatever,
Right. Like, exactly.
Press 1 for domestic violence. Press 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awful. And I think it would be hard to argue that wouldn't be awful, you know?
Right.
So, I mean, that's smart. Mm-hmm. All right. So changing gears a little bit. I'm on, one of the things we're taught as copywriters and is you want to get on as many like old fashioned direct mail lists as possible, because there's a lot of time and energy and money that goes into actually mailing something out. So, and if you get it 2 or 3 times, that's how you know it's working. Right. Or online, you just get retargeted, and actually retargeting is even cheaper than a regular ad. So you don't actually know if it's working or not, because they could just be running it for a while. Now, if you keep seeing the same one over 6 months or whatever, then you can be pretty sure it's working. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I've gotten this letter from one of the supplement companies I follow. And basically what the letter says is, hey, we were having a meeting. We were thinking about how could we do something nice for our customers. Some people said 10% off. Some people said free shipping. But I thought we should just do a $25 gift card or, voucher, whatever. I can't remember exactly what he called it, but $25 at our store, no strings attached, no minimums, and include free shipping.
Sure.
And, then he tells the little story, like people were great. Like, you're crazy. We can't do that. Like, good, basic, good storytelling copy. Right. Yep. And he said, but that's what we decided to do. So, use the code on the mailer at this website address and get $25 off any order, any size, plus get free shipping.
Oh.
And it even said, one line in the letter was, one of the complaints from the team was, well, some of our products don't even cost $25, which is like, oh, which one is that? It's it lights up a part of your brain. It's like, oh, which one is that? I'll go buy that one. Cool. But, and he was right up front in the letter. He said, some people will just use the $25 and some people will spend more, Mm-hmm. But either way, a gift should be a gift. And that's what this is. Thanks for being a customer.
Awesome.
And I was like, that could be used for so many different businesses.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And it had a catalog that goes with it. Like I could see REI doing something like that, because who's not going to spend $25 at REI once you start shopping there? Like it's almost impossible not to spend $25.
Yep.
Which is kind of what they do with their rebates and all that, but still to have another one. It's really no different than a sale, right? It just, you don't know exactly what the discount's going to be depending on how much people fill up their cart.
Yeah.
But especially at a place like REI or a higher end store, it's probably going to end up being a, 10 to 20% discount.
Yeah.
Which is not that much.
Right.
So, but I've seen it 2 or 3 times now, and I was like, man, that must be working because they keep sending it out. So the question is like, and you could do that for services. You could do that for, and obviously the amount could be anything. Could be $25, could be $500. You could just send out, hey, here's a list of services, and you can use, use this coupon code on your shopping cart, and boom, get whatever. Like even coaching. Yeah. If I had like a group coaching, get $500 off a new enrollment into any of my programs or whatever. So I thought that was kind of cool.
No, I get sucked into the REI all the time when they do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because it just gets you back on the site, right? Mm-hmm. And we know that, especially online, just to get somebody to your website, I mean, it could cost you $4, $5, $6, $10 for Facebook ads or Google ads or anything else. So, it's you're guaranteed to get them there because you're not going to pay the $25 unless they go and check out.
Right.
So it's actually cheaper than paying for clicks to get people to your site. Obviously you have the direct mail cost. So, probably a $1.50, per letter. And if, I don't know, my guess is with an offer like that, solid offer, you probably get a 10, 25% response rate as far as people going online or filling out the actual mailer. Because you could actually just mail you could do by mail as well. You didn't have to be online.
Oh yeah. So. Yeah. I get those flyers in the mail all the time from, REI and places like that, and you almost feel guilty, for not taking advantage, because you're like, yeah, this is like free money.
Free money,
it's really.
It's free money. It's like Kohl's. You get paid to shop. I love that. Like, that's another great 3-word rebellion, right? Get paid to shop.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Because they give you cash back, or Kohl's cash back, and they give you huge discounts. I mean, Kohl's is like, this would have cost you $6,000. Oh, you got it for $27. Plus, you're going to get $20 in Kohl's cash. It's like, oh my God.
Wow. Man, I'm so lucky.
Man, I'm a good shopper. I'll come back here tomorrow. It's crazy because, like, I don't think I've ever been in there when anything was full price.
Absolutely.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and I got to say, the REI, speaking of REI, with what they do with the dividends is so brilliant.
Yeah.
And I would just like
explain that to the people who don't shop at REI. Not everybody. I don't know if you know this, Jonathan, but not everybody shops.
Well, I know, and I'm very sad to hear that, but yeah. So you build up. So depending on how much you buy from one year to the next, you get dividends that you're able to use, and these are basically, it's like free money. So they say, that's how they frame it, and you get these at it's March of every year. So I can't wait, March. So I've got a birthday in March. And so it's like, first of all, I get a birthday, and then I've got these dividends coming. So it's like a double.
And plus it's kind of the start of the outdoor season. So you're already itching to get out. Like it's just, I mean, they didn't pick that arbitrarily. I know you think it's because of your birthday, but it's more than that.
That's right.
It's the spring season, getting out. And if you spend a lot of money there, I mean, you can get a nice, couple $100 dividend.
So you have to be a member. Okay. You have to be a member to spend money to create dividends. Okay. Think about that. Think about that for a minute. You pay to become a member so you can go back there and spend money with them on a regular basis to create dividends that make you come back and spend more money.
They give you pay them so that they can give you your money back, so that you'll come back and spend more.
That's right. That's right.
Money. Yeah, I got it.
Think of that framing, how you've been and it works. It works because
it's like Costco. You get the membership, but if Costco, I guess, does the 2% on certain levels, but REI is what, 10%?
Yes.
Yeah. So but the thing, and my daughter said this yesterday, she came home from something and she was talking about, like, 10% is not a sale. Like, it doesn't even register for most people, but a 10% dividend that comes at the end of the year or once a year feels like something special.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. It's just a 10% sale all the time.
Right.
So, and nothing in REI is cheap. So it's probably just, it's part of the markup anyway.
No. Yeah. They mark their stuff up. Like, it's insane. Yeah. So I average every year around March, I get a dividend back based on the previous year of spending. Cause I'll buy camping gear and stuff like that. So, I may get on average a $300 dividend, just round it up. So I've got $300. I get this mail in March that says you got $300 in dividends to spend. Well, when I go to REI, take a guess how much I spend. Do I spend $300? No. I spend more than $300.
That's just the warm up. Like, a little bit new outerwear. Be good.
Exactly. Because, like you said, the markups they're insane because, and to their credit, they carry a lot of really good name brands.
Quality stuff for sure.
Yeah. So I have it. Like this past year, I went and spent a bunch of money on dividends. They have these Vask hiking boots, which I haven't had a good pair of Vask since college, and these are these are really, these things last forever. These kind of, these hiking boots. So bought a pair, which was, certainly, it was like 200 to 250, about $250 for these hiking boots, so that washed away most of the dividends right there, but I didn't stop there, cause there's other stuff.
Socks.
It's brilliant. Yeah. There's socks. You gotta have socks. You gotta have shorts. You gotta have this and that and gaiters and all this other stuff. But they have gotten me in the door, buddy, and I'm going to spend some money. So,
yeah, it's brilliant. So it's like, how do you get people in the door? And that, and that's where I think people leave money on the table is they you know, they get people's email address.
Absolutely.
And then they don't really do much with it,
right?
You know, and have a set program that gets triggered, and it could be something simple. Like it doesn't have to be, you know, 10% of everything they spend, but all these numbers for pricing are made up anyway. Like if you're choosing 27 or 37, just choose 37 and then give people a 10% dividend for every course they buy from you for over the course of a year.
Yeah.
Or even if you're a consultant or anything else, like, you know, be one of my VIP clients, you know, you pay an extra.
Yeah.
So let's just play with this for a second. So imagine you're a consultant and you said, I have this new program. It's for VIPs. You get a separate number and you get a separate email. It's $500 a month retainer, $250 a month retainer, but you get front of the line access and you get, you know, 10% off any of my relationships, vendors, services, whatever, you know, speaking fees, anything like that. You'll get an extra 10% all year long. You just have to pay a $250 a month retainer as a membership. If you're doing like corporate consulting or something like that, you could do the same thing for a coaching program, anything else. So, you know, just have fun with it. It's all made up. So just have fun with it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's a great example.
Yeah. And
I mean, think of Ed, who we had on as our guest last episode. You know, he's charging, you know, $50 for one of his ebooks. And then for the package, like you said, it was like the, you know, his Twitter package, I guess, was what, 75 or $80 or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
And he's got all these, you know, these different packages, but I mean, these are made up. I mean, these are prices that he's established and he's set the value on those.
Yeah. It's all ones and zeros. I mean, like,
yeah.
I mean, it doesn't actually matter. I mean,
it doesn't matter.
There's kind of some standard pricing, but like, I don't know if you saw on his site, he's got this this club. It's $11 a month. Did you see that?
No.
Did you look at that one?
No.
So it's this. I can't even pronounce it. It's like the Project Ekalavaya. Learn better. So it's $11 a month, and all you get for it is like 3 infographics a month from books he's reading. Oh, but they're really cool infographics. Like they're really well done. It's almost like Cliff Notes for the book. I mean, it's perfect for guys like us, who like read books, you know. So he just puts it in nice PDFs, and it's $11 a month. I'm like, that's brilliant. You're already reading the book. You're already taking notes, and then you just hire a graphic designer to throw it all in an infographic, and then you got a little membership site.
That's right.
I mean, it's just brilliant. And $11, like, there's no rhyme or reason for that number. You just picked a number.
No.
You know, so.
And would you pay that $11 for something like that? I certainly, I mean, depending.
I'm considering it because I'm looking at the, like the quality of the infographics and like, you know,
so the purpose of the infographics is to save you time on, I mean, it's to summarize the book. Yeah. So yeah, I'll pay that absolutely in a heartbeat. Yeah. Because time is valuable. Time's more valuable. I mean,
you know, I was a member of Read It for me, Read It for.me. Still am a member. I'm a lifetime member, you know, and I paid a couple $100 for that as a lifetime member, for the same reason, to save time. And I go in there sometimes there's a book that I want to know about, but I don't really have the time to read. So I'll go and search their library, and sure enough, it's there. So, so yeah, it's pretty cool. But it just goes to show, though, that like these days you can make a product about just about anything. So really cool.
That's cool. I need to check that out. I want to see that. So,
all right, man. Well, that was our 15-minute episode. It took 34 minutes.
34. Yeah, I'm looking at the time. Well, thanks for listening, guys. As always, you can find us over at Persuasion by the Pint. You can find us, also visit our Facebook group over at facebook.com/groups/Persuasion by the Pint. And Sean, it's been fun, man. We'll see you guys we'll see you on the next episode.
See ya.